No, I was gonna say, like, I'm not like I'm not overweight. I am certainly out of shape, and I certainly have pudge, but
Yeah, yeah.
like all the fat in my body is concentrated in my pudge,
Well, I mean,
and
yeah,
it got
that's typically how guys store fat first. Is,
yeah. I'm like, I was like, all right, come on, start doing. I was like, all right, come on, you died. Start doing some crunches, you fat bastard.
like, I honestly, I would love if I could have some sort of pull-up bar in my house, but it's just not. There's no doorways for me to put it in, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you that there's not a door. I'm just like, how the fuck is there not one doorway?
It's because it's just a really large apartment.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, there's no actual doorway for me to put a pull-up bar in. And I mean, yeah, I could always, bike on my way down to the gym that my grandmother has free membership to that she can give out to family. But like, have you ever gone outside in Florida?
yeah.
Don't. During the summer, fucking, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk through a pool today.
Yeah. No, I do know what you're
And
talking about.
considering my love is for Vermont, which is literally the
Opposite.
diametric opposite of Florida. Well, yeah. Anyway, this is mic check, mic check. Come on, Twitch, work with me here. YouTube says I'm online, Twitch. YouTube
Quit
is not
flickering,
receiving
you
enough
fucking
video to
shitty
maintain
light
a
bulb.
smooth stream. The fuck do you mean you're not maintaining enough video to maintain a smooth stream? Okay, clear. Okay. Alright, so, okay, whatever I did, YouTube says my stream health is now good.
All right.
I don't know what I did. I touched like 5 different options. I
so
really don't feel like
okay,
going through
whatever
them
I
all.
did, YouTube says my stream health is now
The most
good.
common technical problem. All right. Shit, I fixed the problem, but I don't know how I did it.
Yeah, basically. Alright, well, with that, I suppose we should start the intro.
Oh, we have an intro.
Yeah, the intro where we just sit here for like about 5 minutes trying to figure out how to make everything work, and people just sit there going, wow, these two fucking idiots are running a show.
Yeah. Shame there's no way for us to test it without that, but
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, can I have some like sort of pre-stream service where I can make sure the stream's actually fucking working?
just let me make sure that, everything's not on fire.
Yeah, no, apparently can't do that. Anyway,
Not until you're a precious,
Fanfiction
precious partner.
Friday begins now. Enter post.
Alright, what fucking trash do you have for me?
Alright, so today, I was just going to, on camera, pick up some Bleach fiction. Because, we haven't touched any of that yet, and we both know Bleach, so...
Oh, you're gonna show them our arcane selection
Our,
process.
yes, our exclusive behind-the-scenes selection process for how we select fanfiction. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Will this, nope, fuck, can't do it. I had something,
You
it
had
didn't
something?
rhyme,
Didn't
I
go?
lost it.
Yeah?
Nope. Something about summaries, will it make me kill myself? But none of it
Nah,
rhymed.
see,
I
it
was like, God
didn't, yeah, no. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, will this one work for my show?
damn.
We can work on that as we go.
It's a work in progress, much like
Anyway,
everything
let's
else
see.
about us.
Waking up in the middle of a world full of monsters whose sole purpose is to devour the souls of the innocent sucks, but the freaky powers that came with it are actually pretty cool, so I guess it evens out. This looks to be a self-insert OC Bleach fiction where the self-insert gets the gamer powers.
Eh.
I almost don't want to touch it because we all know it's going to be crap.
I mean, we don't. It's not guaranteed to be bad.
It's about 1,000 words a chapter.
Alright, that's not a compelling argument for it.
Yeah.
But sure. Let's just take a look at it.
Alright, so we'll post that up. A path meant for another. Sorry, do read if you don't like amateurs. This my first story, so please criticize.
Well, when we've been given an open invitation like that,
We take a wild pass and move the fuck on.
What? No, we don't.
Yes, I do. Like, literally, that's the summary. I don't even know what the fuck's supposed to be inside it.
Oh, that's just the I thought you were reading like an author's note.
No, that's the entire fucking
no.
summary of the
Nope.
next story. Yeah, no. We're moving the fuck on from that one. If you can't even provide me with a goddamn summary of what your story is supposed to be, then I cannot expect you to be good even in the slightest. Honey, Don't Break the Fast by Ikavai. It's midnight and they are both hungry. Romance humor. Ichigo times Rukia. No. I feel like that's just gonna be smut.
Yeah, like, can we just take a second to talk about... Look, people, I don't mind smut. My problem is when it's on fanfiction.net.
What the fuck is this? One soul,
Jesus
but
God.
never alone. When Byakuya is brutally raped, Shiba Ichigo learns the hard truths about what it is to be a noble leader. He comes to a new understanding with Byakuya's strengths as he helps his friends struggle to move past the horror and torment of sexual assault. Yaoi, Ichigo times Byakuya, Renji times Rukia, Kurushimi times Tetsuya, and maybe others.
We're done
non-consent.
We're done here.
And we've lost all our viewers, too. That's right, we never did our intro. This is Fanfiction Friday, where we take a first look at fanfiction, blah, 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 blah. It's all trash. I don't know why you're here.
It's all trash. We all hate it. Can you report that one story? Because I'm
yeah,
sure...
I probably should, yeah. In the honor of the courage shown by the victim who Brock Allen Turner raped. Look up the name and you'll see this animal raped an unconscious woman at a frat party. It was given... yes. The judge who was like, lol, women get away with it like this, so I'm gonna do it to this guy. And then everyone got angry and nothing was accomplished.
Indeed.
Alright, so let's just take a look at the gamer soul. Alright, so I'll link that in. I'll splurt that, and splurt in there, and splurt in here, and splurt to you. So many things I have to splurt. When most people think of reincarnation, they tend to look at their religion's beliefs for such a thing. I am here to tell you that they are wrong to do that. The reason I say this is because I have had to go through it, and it is hell. Not literally, of course. Although, you tend to think that when you suddenly die in a fire, then wake up in the middle of a world filled with terrible monsters that exist for the sole purpose of running around devouring the souls of innocent. Oh, don't forget the weird-ass powers that I got. Now, with that said, let us get on with the show. A bit of fourth wall breaking at the start. Like, I know I did it in my story, but
No,
I
no, here's the
purposely
thing. I don't
set up
necessarily
the
have a-
narrator as a character for that, and I don't typically have problems with fourth wall breaking, but when it's like the characters taking the time to talk
Here's the thing.
with the audience,
Like,
it's eh.
they shouldn't really be talking with the audience. And even if they are, like,
And that was
it's
pretty
usually
disjointed
fine.
too.
But when it's, yeah, when it comes out of nowhere, and especially when it's in your first paragraph, that doesn't set a good tone.
Yeah. Like the way I did it, and I don't know if you ever got around to actually reading our story, um, is
Not yet.
I had the narrator be a character, and so when he was narrating stuff that happened that wasn't supposed to happen during his narration, he was just like, "Oh, fucking goddamn it."
Well, yeah, but see, that's not even, technically speaking, that's not even fourth wall breaking because you establish the narrator as a character. It's
Yeah.
like if someone establishes that, oh, hey, this is a story being told by someone in the present.
Oh,
So
like
events will be referred to in the past tense.
they did in Dragon Dark Age 2. Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, yeah. Like occasionally it's like, hey, we're gonna zip forward to the present for some comedic relief.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
I woke up on the except everything else about Dragon Age 2.
Yes.
I woke up on top of a very tall building, which was odd because the last thing I remembered was burning to death in a fire. Then I noticed the translucent blue box floating right in front of me. You have slept on a hard concrete roof. 10% of your HP, MP, and RP have been restored.
Really, 10%? That seems generous for a concrete roof.
Hey, man. I've slept in worse positions.
I mean, so have I, and that's why I'm saying 10% is generous.
I've gotten pretty good night's sleeps on planks of wood and shit.
I mean, yes, I've gotten relatively good night's sleep stuck in a Jersey airport. That doesn't mean it's good for me.
Oh, no,
that
I'm not
it's
saying it's good
particularly
for you. I'm just
restful.
saying 10%'s adequate.
Eh.
I just
Quibble about
stared.
the...
But yeah, you also got to keep in mind, he's probably got, like, you know... Okay, he's got 200 HP. But still, 10% is only 20 HP healed. That's, yeah, you know. He's not exactly rolling in the healing. I just stared at it for a moment. Then I did what most people would do in this situation. I slapped myself as hard as I could. Well, I guess if you're not a gamer, you would slap yourself as hard as you could. If you were a gamer, I would just sit there and be like, I kind of expected this eventually.
No. Even with the amount of time I've spent gaming, the first thing I would do would be try to make the menu go away, and then just start, you know, pinch myself, slap myself, see if I can do something to wake up.
So I guess calm acceptance is only on my end. Got it.
Listen, if I go to sleep having only the memories of burning to death, I wake up on a concrete roof and I suddenly have a HUD, calm is not going to be on my list of reactions.
Well, I guess that's where we differ.
Yeah. That's because I'm at least somewhat mentally stable, Sneaky.
I suppose so.
You're a complete fucking basket case.
That is possibly true.
Possibly true. Yeah, it's also possibly true that gravity works if the sky is blue.
We don't know that. When I looked back at the box, it was still there. Not only that, something else popped up as well. Minus 2 HP. It also made a ping noise that scared the hell out of me. Okay, I had looked over small bits and pieces of the gamer, and this is what even gave me the idea I should try and confirm what was happening. The insane part of me that actually wanted this to be real and not some kind of weird dream in which I could feel pain immediately took over. Status. Blah, blah, blah. Status is 5 in all things. That's actually, okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
It's not terrible.
200 HP, 100 MP. That's pretty standard. I don't know
Yeah.
what RP is yet, but he's probably going to explain it. But you know that's actually from all the gamer fix I've seen, that's surprisingly tame
Yeah.
stat wise. Spike was an orphan before he died in a fire that burned down the orphanage he lived in. He reincarnated wonderful world as before him. No person would have had a heart attack or fallen into panic hell. An insane person would have been a little freaked out. Hey, fuck you, author. But I just sat there and processed the information as if it was nothing new. Don't get me wrong. I had felt the emotions rise up in me, but then they were pushed down by something and then regulated at a pace at which I couldn't even notice them before they were gone. I wanted to test this some more, so I said the next command that came to mind. Skills. Blah blah blah, skills. We've all seen this before.
No, you say blah blah blah. The reason no one ever freaks out in these fictions.
Oh hell yes, this was gonna be awesome. I was up and trying to find my way off the roof only a few seconds later, when I spotted the door that I assumed led down. Well, I mean, it's certainly not going to be leading up.
Yeah.
Immediately ran toward it, only to jump away from and behind the door to avoid being spotted by a guy that walked through the door as he tried to light a cigarette. Okay, so door's opening and he runs behind the opening door. Okay.
Not sure why, but okay.
I crouched silently beside the door as I watched the man walk towards the edge of the roof, waiting for him to be where I was out of his line of sight, because I really didn't want to explain how I got up to the roof without anyone seeing me. I mean, honestly, at that sort of moment, I don't think I'd be able to risk doing a This Is Sparta reference and trying to fly kick him off the roof.
Oh my god.
Come on, dude. You gotta try at least once in your life.
No, you don't. Fucking psychopath.
Through a special action, a new skill has been created. Stealth. Blah blah blah. We all know what stealth is. The other thing that happened was the guy mumbling something that I could barely hear. But when I figured out what he said, I realized something. He was speaking Japanese. Okay.
Listen, that's real impressive that he just knows what language the guy is speaking. Like,
Well, I mean, if you watch a lot of anime, I guess you'd be like, oh, that's Japanese. But at the same
yeah,
time,
no, I
it's
know,
just
but
like...
no, but like here's the thing, like it's certainly possible to recognize, like it's it's very clear. Oh, well, this is clearly a language, an Asian language, or
Okay,
oh,
well,
well, this is some kind of variation on Celtic. But
I would like to focus more on the fact that he said, I figured out what he said, which means he deciphered the meaning of whatever he was saying, and then realized, oh, he's saying something in Japanese, which means he already knew what the man was saying before trying to figure out what he was saying.
sure,
You know, like someone's mumbling under their breath, and you know, in English or whatever, and you're like, okay, what are they trying to say? Piecing the words together.
yeah,
And then you realize afterwards, oh, they were saying it in Japanese, which means he knows Japanese right now.
true.
Within the next 20, this is important because within the next 20 minutes, I had made it outside the building. As I walked down the street, I was thinking on the whole language thing. If I was in Japan, I would probably need to find a library and check out a Japanese to English dictionary. I doubt that I had any doubt that I had that I was in Japan was thoroughly erased on the walk. Every sign I saw was in Japanese. See, this is what I'm saying though. Is he indicated
Yeah,
earlier that he knew what the man said,
yeah,
and then realized he was talking in Japanese. And then he's saying, "Oh, I need to go find a Japanese to English dictionary," as if he doesn't know Japanese.
yeah. And he every sign that I saw was in Japanese. Like,
Unless you knew Japanese, you wouldn't be able to go up to an Asian language sign and be like, "Yeah, it's definitely Japanese."
yeah. Now, is it possible you could take a good guess? Yeah, but if you're listening to say you're listening to Slavic languages, unless you
Yeah.
know what those languages are, unless you can speak them, it's not going to be easy to tell them
Yeah,
apart.
you're gonna be like, yeah, that's Slavics. That's
It's
yeah.
somewhere from there, but I don't know what it is.
It's somewhere in that area. I mean,
Like, for instance, if
English is one of the only languages I know of that you can go, yep, this is English without a doubt, because English is the only language that does not have those little uh lines and
offshoots.
shit that get put above letters.
Oh, yeah, no, Roman characters are Roman characters.
Well, no, I mean, because Spanish has it, they're Roman characters. French has it.
Yeah.
But English is the only language of the Romanic languages that doesn't have special emphasis letters.
Yeah.
And so if you can find a sentence, you can be like, yep, that's English because there's no special emphasis letters in it.
Yeah. But even then, that wouldn't help you with identifying. That wouldn't help you identify the spoken language if you don't know English. Like,
Oh, well, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Or, if you're in South America
Yeah,
and, oh, well, that guy's speaking
it's
Portuguese and that guy's
it's
speaking
all
Spanish.
Portuguese. It's all Portuguese in South America. Even when it's not, it's still Portuguese.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, well, okay, this guy's speaking Spanish and that guy's speaking Portuguese, and I have no idea what the fuck either of them are saying, or even how to tell them apart because they're basically the same language.
Don't let Spain or Portugal hear you say that.
Oh, oh no, 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 no. I know, but fortunately, my friend from Brazil told me that.
Oh, good. Brazil. Got observed, spent looking, and of course he observes
Yeah,
everyone he can find, and the observe level goes up.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, okay, hold on a minute. That's perfectly logical. Like, assuming that if I had
oh
gamer
well, yeah, no,
powers,
I know. I'm just saying it's the typical gamer stuff of got a new skill, spam it real quickly to get some levels in it.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like fucking. Oh, I got the sneak skill. All right, it's time to do what I did in Skyrim. Wait for it to get dark and then crouch in the middle of a park.
Boy. Okay, so this author does what the character's wearing pretty tastefully. Anyway, with that working, I finally bothered to look around. The sun was almost at midday and it was surprisingly hot. I quickly realized I hadn't even looked at my clothes either. I was wearing a black sweatshirt, which is probably why I was so hot, and a baggy pair of dark gray sweatpants, as well as a black pair of running shoes. I guess
Oh God, that is hideous.
I guess with everything that had been happening since I woken up, checking out my clothing just hadn't been important. So,
Yeah, no,
while this story is fairly generic and uninteresting,
no
uh,
problems. No, no grammatical problems.
no grammatical problems, no spelling problems. It's just not interesting.
You say, unfortunately, author, you have failed to grab my attention.
But kudos to him for touching on that long-held issue that we have of you know this being a problem where it's like, oh, this is a new character and they're wearing. No, the character's like,
Yeah,
oh, I had better things to do than fucking pay attention to what I was wearing.
I was gonna say, and here's the thing: even if he'd chosen to do it at the start, there would have been he would have had a very logical explanation for it because the last
It
thing
was
this
burning
said
to
character
death, yeah.
remembers was burning to death.
Yeah, but so again, kudos
So
to him.
yeah, so the author had multiple ways to make it completely reasonable for the character to go, "What the fuck am I wearing?"
People all seemed to be leaving for one reason, or probably their jobs or something, and until I heard an ear-shattering roar that was most definitely not human. It was not a good day.
Hello, people. This is my first fanfiction. Please review and give me some constructive
All
criticism.
right,
I mean,
I'll
I don't
leave you
have
a
any
review.
constructive- I don't actually have any constructive criticism for him because
Good job on spelling and grammar. No legal errors to be found. Good on you. into the story. Hold my interest as it was fairly generic and gave me no reason to keep reading. See, this is the point though that I try to make with short chapters is you can write short chapters. I've seen plenty of stories do just fine with 2K, 3K chapters, right?
But
But the problem is when it comes to hooking people in to actually read your story, if your first chapters are 1K words, you are going to have to try absurdly harder to hook people in to keep them reading. Because you have 1,000 words to establish the plot, introduce the characters, and get the hook in there. Well, if you have, say, a 5K chapter or a 10K chapter, you have plenty of time and space to give readers a reason to keep reading.
Yeah, here's the thing. Everything the author did in this was fine. But he could have easily put in another, 500,000 words to keep me interested, to keep me...
So, he just ended it at a poor time. Oh, the first enemy shows up. That would be the perfect time to hook the reader in to make them keep reading your story. But he cut off right before the first enemy showed up, which, it just read as a generic self-insert OC who gets powers chapter. Of, okay, yeah, it's a self-insert, and they're in Japan, and they have powers, probably. And that's all we know, and that's all that happens. And then he ends the chapter right before the first combat starts, because, some people are picky about combat, for example. And if they like the way you write combat, they'll stay and keep reading.
Yeah.
If they don't like the way you write combat, then you're just going to lose someone you would have already lost. Yeah. But you're cutting down on your ability to gain more people reading your story because you didn't give them a preview of how you do stories. You just gave them a 1,000 word intro that just got the character in.
Yeah. While the chapter is competently written, indeed, refreshingly so, given what we usually come across.
It was generic and only introduced the character, and that's it. Didn't give us a reason to keep reading, didn't introduce the plot, didn't introduce combat, didn't introduce how the gamer function was going to work. It just didn't introduce anything else but, hey, this is the character.
Yeah.
And then the chapter ended, so... yeah. I don't know.
So, we unfortunately, we're not going to be clicking follow on this, probably, because it's not that interesting, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just... don't see a point to it. Let's see. Book of Her, no rhyme, no reason in love. Romance story. You've read her. You've flipped through her life, but you still don't understand. Ichigo, Orihime, and Tsuchishima. 900 words, completed story.
No, we're not clicking on that.
Yeah.
It's stupid and there's no reason.
Fucking... part of the process of me picking these stories is I read the summaries, and if the summary is distinctly crap that I can comment on, I'll pick up the story. Or if it looks like it's a good summary, I'll pick up the story. But some of these summaries are just Zanpakuto of Dreams. Welcome to the life of Eli Ricky, the clumsy Shinigami with an unusual Zanpakuto spirit. Why would I click on this? Again, I realize my taste in fan fiction differs from many people, but when for example, come to the Bleach section, I expect to be reading fan fiction about Ichigo. Now, certainly, I don't only read fan fiction about, insert main character of fandom here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently reading a Naruto story called The Root of Darkness or something like that, and it's about a self-insert OC who gets gamer powers.
Right.
But they handled it fucking ass-blasting fantastically.
Hmm.
And they just handled everything fantastically.
Yeah.
And I was fine with reading that story. I
Well,
looked at the summary. I was like, that's an interesting summary, even though it doesn't have any of the main characters in it. That still looks interesting. I read the first couple paragraphs. I said, this is going somewhere. I read the first chapter, and I was like, damn, I want to read more.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say another important thing to note is specifically, if you want to do, when you write a fan fiction, whatever that fan fiction is, people are showing up to that because they want to know about those. They want to read things about that unit. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions to that. Like if someone's reading XCOM fan fiction,
Yeah.
they're not there for a specific character.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing though, is in stories like Naruto and Bleach and Harry Potter, you can do, self-insert OCs. You can do twists and AUs. Well, you have an easier time hawking an AU to the potential reader. Anything that does not directly involve the main character, you're going to see a dramatic decrease in the amount of people willing to even give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people go there to read about the main character, because they like the main character, because that's the character they know the most about. Now, certainly there's people out there that will go to the Harry Potter franchise fandoms and go for Hermione fanfiction or Ron fanfiction. I don't know why you would, but
No. Like I get that. Like they're there. They're looking for.
No, I was making a comment about Ron, but that's
No.
just me making fun of him.
Yeah.
But they're looking for X character involved fanfiction, which I mean, admittedly, I do as well. But you're going to have a harder time selling that. You're going to need to put more effort into the summary, more effort into the story to sell that story to people.
Right.
And I realize this is just fanfiction, you're not actually selling it. But if you're writing stories, you have some idea of wanting to be a writer. Which means you gotta learn this sort of stuff for when you actually try to write an actual story and try and sell it.
Even if you're just writing for fun because you think, oh, well, I think this is an interesting idea.
Yeah.
You still have to apply the same process because when you write a story, very rarely do you write a story just for yourself. And if you do write it just for yourself, you're not likely to share that.
Yeah. I mean,
if you create a fan fiction and you put it out there on the internet, chances are that you want other people to read it, whether to derive enjoyment or pleasure.
And that's the point, though, is if you're going to try and get other people to read your story, following the practices that get people to buy books about something they don't know about is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because if this person can write a summary about a completely new universe with completely new characters no one's ever heard about and get people to buy that book and make it a bestseller, well, then whatever method they're using, you should be certainly adopting, because if it works for completely new characters that no one's ever heard of, it'll certainly work for a popular fucking franchise with already established characters.
Yeah.
And so, again, back to the original summary that started this rant, Zanpakuto of Dreams. Okay, it's a mildly interesting title. where are you really gonna go with that though? Zanpakuto of Dreams, you're gonna have lots of dream world stuff going on, like that already turns some people off of like, is this gonna be like some sort of Alice in Wonderland trippy ass adventure or something? You know, like everything that people see at first, it forms their opinion of it. Zanpakuto of Dreams, humor story, OC, and then a summary.
Yeah.
The clumsy Shinigami with an unusual Zanpakuto spirit. And you spelled... I think they spelled Zanpakuto wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, they spelled Zanpakuto wrong as well. Zanpakuto. I was saying it wrong. I was just saying how they spelled it, but... you know... So, a spelling error in something as important as the literal fucking title of the story.
Yeah, that does not set a good
does
precedent.
not set the precedent of, man, this story will probably be a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next thing.
I'm not going to pick this one up, but I will use its summary as an example. Familiar stranger. Ichigo left everything behind. The Shinigami, the fighting, the power struggles, when he walked away 8 years ago after the war had ended. But now he's dead. He doesn't have a choice but to face it all again. How would he go about it? I would say how will he go about it, but I wouldn't even include that last line. I would just leave it at that. But it continues. Note, haven't decided on pairings. Characters include almost all Shinigami from canon up to the Ironclar invasion arc. Like I said, if he had stopped it right at the end, but he didn't have a choice but to face it all again, that would have made an excellent summary to draw people in.
Yeah.
I'm not personally gonna even look at it though, because it does say AU, and it's hard. Us criticizing it on how much it follows canon is going to be a bit more difficult if it's an AU. You know.
Yeah.
So there's no real point in us going to this one, besides maybe spelling or grammar, but we can find that anywhere else as well.
Yeah.
Self-insert OC that falls in love with Grimjaw, and Grimjaw falls in love with her.
Eh.
How fucking late am I?
Not at all. We covered one story. We mostly just spent the time talking about stuff like how to write a summary, what makes a summary interesting, what doesn't. The only story we covered was a gamer bleach fiction, self-insert OC, 1K
Which
chapters.
was not in...
Yeah, it was 1K chapters. It was no spelling errors really to be found, no grammar errors really to be found to comment on. But it was just so generic and bland. Self-insert OC wakes up.
Continue reading this.
Yeah, the self-insert OC wakes up. They're on a building. They get off the building. They walk around. They realize they're in Japan. Chapter ends.
And that's one way you can tell if a fan fiction is fly by the seat of your pants versus actually planned.
Like, the last part of the chapter was him being like, oh my god, these are the clothes I'm wearing. I didn't notice because, you know, I had better things to worry about. And so, you know, kudos to him for that.
I mean, were those better things not dying to a hollow?
No, because he dies in a fire, right? And then he wakes up on top of a building. He's like, okay, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, good. We're going off the second chance otherworld as
Yeah.
well. Good.
Yeah, and so, window pops up saying, he's only healed 10% because he slept on a concrete surface. And, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe this is real. Slap. Oh, it's real.
Why did you slap yourself? You need someone else to slap you to wake you up. You're aware
Yeah.
of this, right, mate? If you really
Uh,
want to wake yourself up, you
he
take a
gets
run into that
stealth and
wall.
observe, and he levels those up a bit. And then he's like, oh, I know what that guy is saying. Oh my god, he's speaking Japanese. I need to find a Japanese to English dictionary because apparently I didn't know what that guy was saying, but I did.
Yeah.
Question mark. And then he starts walking around and he's like, oh man, I'm hot. Oh, I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. That's weird. And then he's like, oh, there's a roar in the distance. This day just got worse. And that's where the chapter ends. That was the whole chapter. And it's just like there's nothing to insult here, but there's nothing to praise here. There's nothing. It's just a
This was
generic.
competent.
It's just generic.
It's just there. It exists. We looked upon it. Well, you looked upon it.
Oh boy. Again, this is another story I'm not gonna even click on, but
Oh boy.
listen to this summary. Flares.
Oh.
AU. Instead of Aizen betraying the Soul Society, it's an obscure group of beings known as the Shibito. But plans start changing when Kasumi, the self-insert OC, a Shibito, isn't quite caught up with the program and falls in love with a Ichigo Kurosaki.
Please stop adding to the summaries. I have your stream up. I know you're lying.
Come on. You know that's what's gonna happen, though.
I'm gonna laugh if it's not actually.
Alright,
That-
then.
Look,
Like,
but even if that's the
I'm going to
case,
find it hilarious if it's like, oh no, actually, she paired him off with the blind captain.
look,
some shit.
first off, as far as AUs go, what's the point? We're not even in Bleach anymore. You have removed the antagonist, the guy who's the antagonist for what?
Yep, nope.
3/4
Is
of the
that
show?
really quiet?
Yeah, Atin's quiet. Yeah,
Okay,
nope, I'm
not
looking at
crazy.
chapter 4, and yep, she's falling in love with Ichigo Kurosaki.
Damn it. Don't
Okay,
worry,
is
blind
this any
guy.
better?
One day you'll get your chance.
Is this any better?
Yes.
A little.
Okay. Hold on, I'll turn myself up. But what I was saying was, like, first of all, what's the point of this? Like, you have removed the primary antagonist from, what, a good 3/4 of the show?
Yeah.
Let's see, the summary. Canon divergence. If you're gonna do a
Like-
canon divergence, it should be something like one of Aizen's betraying him long before Geen does it.
Because the problem with that
Or,
is...
alternatively, Geen decides to not risk it and assassinates the man immediately before he gets too powerful.
Yeah, it's like, he hasn't hit me with his Shikai yet. This is a good chance.
Yeah.
I'll just use my extendo sword and extend it through him.
I like Geen's sword when you actually figure out what his thing does.
Oh no, that thing's awesome. But that's beside the point. But so you've removed Aizen as the villain.
Yeah.
Okay, well that removes the Hokyoku from play because the only other people that know about it are Hat and Clogs, and he's not going to do anything with it unless you decide to make him the villain for some
And
fucking
Geen,
reason.
who wanted to get it for Rangiku to fix her.
Yeah.
Like as we clearly have seen with Geen, power was not the temptation. So, in all likelihood, if he could even get his hands on it, that's a big if.
Which, I mean, theoretically he could if he worked with key scams. Like, oh, he's been hiding it in Rukia. Can you help me?
He was hiding it in Rukia all along.
But so, if he gets it, if he, in theory, gets the Hokyoku, he'd be like, okay, I've got it. I want Rangiku fixed. And then he would probably just stick it back in Rukia.
I mean, hey, Calvin. Then that would, actually make a somewhat interesting story to read, because then you could go with the angle of Ichigo isn't a hero now. He isn't the stopper of bad guys and the ender of the apocalypse to the Shinigami people. And that, those actions went a long way into them not being like, alright, yeah, let's kill Ichigo because he's, flouting all these rules and shit.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be more interesting because it's like, wait, so, from there, misunderstandings are cleared up. It's like, oh, so she's not a not a filthy traitor.
Yeah, suddenly all the problems are cleared up, and you can basically just start writing a slice of life Bleach anime. But let's say for whatever reason so even leaving those problems aside, you remove Aizen from it, but you decide to keep.
Or you can make it darker, Or because there was never a reason to train to fight Aizen, and they kind of only trained to fight low-level hollows. When the next big apocalypse event occurs, they're hopelessly outpowered for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like for instance, the Quincy Rebellion. You decide to keep that still happening because that would still be that could logically still happen. Or not the Quincy Rebellion, the Quincy, like the second.
Yeah, the
Quincy
second
War,
coming. I know what you're referring to. The part of the story that Sneaky refuses to acknowledge because he's a whiny little prat.
Regardless of that, the fact is you could have that happen, and that happens sooner because Aizen isn't around fucking all this shit up, and so they're woefully underprepared for this. That
was still one of the better moments of that arc, though, where it's like, all right, we're out of options. What do you mean we're out of options? We're asking him. Not asking us. We don't even have to. We just have to remove like one seal. God, Aizen was bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, but and like even leaving that aside, and you can, if you take it the darker route, you can have it so that they have to end up fighting Ishida.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that
like I said, like there's like a lot changes if like cause just think about it. Rukia's about to be killed. Aizen reveals he's the traitor. Gin assassinates him. Ichigo is still a wanted criminal in this whole society.
Yeah.
While Rukia has been exonerated because it comes out obviously that Aizen says, I just set this whole thing up.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, and they'll probably even then they'll probably be like, look, okay, Ichigo, look, this Ichigo kid.
No, but like Ichigo went around, beat up a bunch of people, people died during this event, and like the whole reason why it didn't have lasting negative consequences.
Not because of Ichigo. No, the people who died were killed by Aizen.
I know.
Actually, wait.
And Gin.
No, wait. I don't think anyone actually died.
The gate guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people got murdered.
The gate guard doesn't die. I don't think.
No.
I'm pretty sure they actually managed to heal him up. Shit.
Pretty sure
wow, Aizen, you were really bad at this, mate. No one died.
But anyway, so lots of damage was done.
So that's still just one gate guard. Like,
yeah. So anyway, but regardless, a lot of damage was done. He was declared enemy of the state. A lot of things happened. He broke a lot of laws. And just because it turns out that it was to save Rukia who was innocent all along, that doesn't make him breaking those laws okay. They're not gonna just forgive that.
No, but they'd certainly
they did when it was like, oh man, Aizen betrayed. Ichigo was like the only one strong enough to even remotely fight him. We have to forgive him.
Well, I'm pretty sure part of the thing was, well, shit, we nearly killed his friend. Nearly killed him because he was trying to fix shit. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the only reason he got away with it was because he had a couple of people willing to vouch for him. Like, this wouldn't have happened if you guys had gotten your shit together and actually investigated Aizen like you were
supposed to. And on top of all that, there was a crisis going on now. They just had a captain betray and, like, actively now working against them. But now the captain's dead.
Not just that, they had 3 captains leave.
Yeah, and now those captains aren't leaving. Only one captain is dead. No one actually died. But a lot of property damage was done by this motherfucker who just launched himself via cannon into their police state.
Yeah.
Actually, most of that damage was done by the Soul Reapers themselves. Wow, they
Yeah,
are
but
not very good
obviously
at
they're gonna
this.
blame it on him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even leaving all that aside, it's irrelevant what we're saying because there's plenty of ways you can go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you take Eisen out as the main villain and you substitute some third party horrible bad villain people that you've made up off the top of your head, it doesn't matter. Like you can't just have the story proceed as normal because without Eisen being the villain, there's a billion and one things that don't happen. You know, like, are you going to include a Ronkar? Are you? Aren't you?
Honestly, there's no point then.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
If Eisen's gone, you can't include them. And
well, actually, no, you could. They could theoretically still invade. I don't think Eisen was needed for them to move between worlds.
but he's the one who made them.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
Here's the
sure
thing,
they
Ann.
later
He made
confirmed
them
that a
long
Ronkar was a thing
before.
that could happen.
Yeah, the Arrancar themselves were naturally occurring. Eisen sped it up and was able to give them Shinigami-like powers based on his experiments.
No, okay, I understand that they were a naturally occurring thing, but they occurred very slow. I'm saying that without Eisen there, the threat of them is pretty small. They're not going to be anywhere near as strong, and there's not going to be anywhere near as many of them because he created all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, point is, the author's stupid.
I would need to go to. I would have to read the entire Bleach series to say you're wrong, and I'm not sure it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
I honestly don't know if it's worth it. Oh boy. No, there's a ton of ways you could take it. Like the Arrancar still invade, but they're weaker. They could still give you a run for your money. The Fullbringer arc would actually probably still happen.
Yeah.
The Fullbringer arc was connected in no way to Eisen. And then the Quincy thing probably would also still happen. And Ichigo's power creep wouldn't be as effective because he hasn't had time to connect to both sides of his Zanpakuto toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's all irrelevant because the author's stupid and we've made our point. Let's move on to the next thing.
Maybe I'm not done making my point.
Yeah, but you showed
You
up
don't
late.
know.
Dad Ichigo Kurosaki gives his life in the Winter War to defeat Aizen, or so they thought. In reality, a bigger threat looms just over the horizon. With Aizen dead and Ichigo presumably out of the way, they are left with an opening to strike. Ichigo times Rukia, Ishida times Orihime, action, suspense, humor, romance.
Yeah.
See, the problem I've found with Bleach fanfiction
is that no one knows how to do it.
And I mean, yeah, sort of actually. Like on the front page of Naruto fanfiction, I can pick like 3 stories for us to cover because they're all like in the negative score of so bad it's amusing to talk about.
Yeah.
But with Bleach, they're all like negative 1s and 0s, like they're just there. They're meh. Like, obviously they're bad. Why are you even bothering? It's not like The Room where you know it's bad and you watch it because it's so bad. It's just a special kind of bad. But no, you know, like the Ichigo's cold. Renji comes to visit for the week, just in time for Ichigo to come down with a fever. Having long since pledged to keep his feelings to himself, Renji is caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm sure he is. When he's tasked with taking care of the one he loves, he does his best to look after Ichigo with the loyalty of a friend, but some fevers don't go away. Renji times Ichigo.
Alright, ignoring your poorly written smut that shouldn't be on fanfiction, because it shouldn't be here, that's what adultfanfiction.net is for.
Yep.
Leaving that aside, let's deconstruct your idiotic summary here. Why would Renji be assigned to take care of him when he has living family members?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of whom is actually a good cook, and Basically
say-
handles most of the housework.
Yeah. Well, number two, if it's such a big deal and they need him back on his feet, why would Orihime not just heal him? She can
Don't
close-
forget, his father is a licensed doctor as
Yeah, I
well.
was gonna say his father's a licensed medical practitioner, as terrifying as that may be for us. But his father is in fact a licensed medical practitioner. And last but not least, once again, this is just a general question: why would any soldier, anyone at
God.
all, be assigned to
Let's
look
stick this
after?
in shit post real quick. I don't know where he found this, but this is
Yeah,
horrifying.
on top of all that, on top of all that, like, his dad is not only a doctor, he's also a Shinigami.
Who's also got good connections with Kisuke. Kisuke's also a factor in this.
What's in
Yeah.
shitposts?
But it's just one of those
When
things, like,
Naruto.
God damn it, Sneak. You couldn't wait till after the stream, could you?
I'm putting that up on the big screen.
Jesus God, no. Why?
This is my feelings on crossovers.
I know a little bit about Inuyasha, Calvin.
I know a little bit about Inuyasha as well.
Alright,
Certainly, we could certainly poke Inuyasha. This might be an untapped vein here.
Yeah, that is courtesy of my boys over in the salt mines.
But yeah, so just before we leave, leave this terrible summary of a fan fiction behind, fuck you all, there, nothing you've said makes sense, and this is poorly contrived.
Yes, indeed.
Like, Jiminy Christmas trees. And finally, last but not least, Ichigo wouldn't let someone take care of him, even if he was sick.
Yeah, he would be pretty,
For crying out loud, he is so stupidly stubborn and independent, he has been gut stabbed and continued to try to fight.
Yeah, no, he's
He wouldn't let a fever get in his way.
No, he would not.
And last but not least, author, if you really want to engineer some romance between them, there are 7 million different ways that you can do it better. Like, for the love of all things holy, at least have them do it while they're in the middle of a combat situation when they almost die. Like,
Okay. Okay,
could
I
at least
have a story for us to
excuse
cover before we move on to the Inuyasha section and see how crap that is.
oh no. Oh no.
But there's another summary I want to read out loud. That Girl by Moo Power. He had never noticed her in class before. It was kind of hard not to notice her now, though, with all those bruises. Cat Girl Rukia.
Get out!
Oh, okay. So this is a type of fiction that exists in places. It is called Bleach Scandals. The type of fiction that it is the parody section of what if blank is just a show, or, you know, what if all the people in it know they're in a show? You know, so like,
Right.
they do the show, and then it's cut, and they all, you know,
Right.
take off the
it's the Truman
costumes.
Show.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that done with a Naruto story once.
I've seen it done with Undertale. That was fucking hilarious. I've seen it done with, you know, How to Train Your Dragon. I've seen it done in several different.
I get it.
Yeah,
Shit,
they
there's
can
127
be
chapters of this.
fairly amusing.
This guy's been writing this since 2011.
Yeah.
And he is
They're
still
typically
going
only
strong.
crack.
Sneaky, you've gone silent again.
I'm just
When you do that, it makes me and Max worry if this is the time you finally keeled over dead.
Indeed. We
Yeah.
have no form, therefore we fear it, and because we are formless, we revere it. Thus we are slain. Rukia uttered monotonously.
Monotonously.
I was gonna go with that originally, but I was like, wait a second. She looks down and she looks down and taking a deep breath jumps down. Okay, so I'm having trouble with this guy's grammar, but
Yeah.
but before she does, her hakama slips under her foot, causing her to get off balance and yelp in panic as she hangs suspended in midair by cable wires.
Alright. First of all, you do not hang in midair suspended by cable wires, because if she's hanging suspended in midair by cable wires, she's fallen off a telephone line.
Urahara!
yeah.
She shrieks and struggles to untangle herself. Urahara sighs as he slouches in the director's chair. Cut!
Of course Uraha is the director. Why am I not surprised?
Urahara says tersely over a megaphone and hops of his chair to approach Rukia. How many times do we have to tell you to fix your outfit before you get on set? Hey, it's not my fault you made this too damn big for me. I told you I'm a size number 4. Rukia barks and continues to struggle as a crane came close to help her out.
No, there's not a crane. That's not how that works.
Making samurai
that's what
outfits
it's
ain't
called if they're
cheap, Rux.
No, but most of the time it's just a climbing harness with two guide wires. That's it.
Yeah. You
I
could
know
cost
this
me a
because I was in
fortune,
charge
man.
of it on stage crew.
Roy, I knew he fucked up. The crane refers to mobile cameras.
Oh.
When you're talking about on set, the cameras that are suspended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. A
I
little
almost
research goes a long way in stuff like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost fucking died when I fell off, and all you care about is this fucking outfit? Well, aren't you glad you're playing the dead girl, huh? Fuck you. Oh man, this dialogue, so riveting.
Yeah.
Okay, now remember, Ichigo, you have to walk into the scene and start arguing with those guys about why they upset the Ichigo get off the phone. Oh yeah? Well, you know what? I don't want to see your fucked up face near me ever again, Ichigo yells over the phone and slams it shut. He gives Urahara a seething glare, who starts to feel uneasy now.
Okay. The problem is obvious. Continue moving.
I think we're just gonna stop here and move on to the other sections of fanfiction. This is just not even funny. It hurts. Alright, ratings all in the past week. Language English.
I am now scared to go back and look at a crack fic I made.
You made a crack fic?
I did.
Really?
Little 14-year-old me.
Max
No,
Force.
I was 16 at this point. It's
Fanfiction.
SSB. It's I'll just link it to you if you want. Here.
I'm
no.
at it. Alright. That is... Oh, you wrote a Minecraft story. Life with Mobs.
Oh, no.
That was an experiment. I sometimes go back to it, but that was
Did
one
I
of those.
read this story unknowingly?
Read what story?
I might have accidentally read this story not knowing you wrote it.
Which story?
The Life with Mobs.
That's 2 stories of mine you read without knowing it was me.
Yeah,
Life
I
with
think
Mobs
I
was,
did read this story without knowing.
No, that was just a real simple writing style, fly by the seat of my pants. If I get inspiration, I write it. If not, it
A Hacker's
goes.
Fists? You wrote
We already-
Salfic?
we talked about that one. That was another fly by the seat of my pants long before I got my hands on the light novels. I kind of want to take it down and maybe try my hand at it with a rewrite now that I understand the world a bit better.
2013. That was the first year. Damn.
Wasn't that the first year you were in college?
Yeah.
Max's terrible fanfiction aside, let's get back to
let's SSB failures. Here we go.
Yeah, I've already linked it in the chat. It's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
It's still
terrible, so we don't need to.
You even did the greatest of sins. I take character requests.
I know. That was 2010.
Ooh.
Ninja Kingdom Wars. This story officially on hiatus, unofficially discontinued. Star Wars and Naruto.
That was supposed to be a third crossover. I didn't know how to use the crossover section to make it a multi-crossover. That was a learning process. I am legitimately embarrassed with a lot of these. The only gyms that I really like are Spark and Reet, Life of the Infected, and my initial fanfiction, because going back, I can see how I evolved as a writer. Going from little, like, 5 to 800 words. What the fuck are you laughing at, you asshole?
Holy fuck, my hand! I blew off my fucking hand. What kind of fucking idiot am I? I can tell a 14-year-old wrote this.
Yeah. You can.
You're at that age when you think adding fuck makes everything funny.
To be fair, it does when you're 14.
Anyway.
Oh,
come on.
Ricky is not amused by the shitpost I put.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But that's irrelevant because we have more bad fanfiction to get to.
Yeah, now that we've taken a stroll down Max's memory lane.
I wish we hadn't. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. He actually wrote 18 chapters of this. 94 reviews. How does it feel, Max, to have more reviews on this piece of shit?
Which piece of shit?
SSB failures. More reviews on this piece of shit. Almost 5 times the reviews on this story than you do on your Dark Souls story that we've spent years writing.
What? Okay, alright. Last review was back in 2012. Okay. Hang on, let me look at the legacy story stats for this thing. 12,000 views. Wait, how is it still getting views? How is it still getting views? How far do you have to dig for this?
Probably.
Do we really want to think about that?
Probably way too deeply.
Oh my god. Like, the fact that it still got more than 0 views this month is weird.
Wait, what? It got views this month?
It got 8 views this month. How?
That is
some fucking dedication.
Someone's like, I really, really hope he updates.
This guy is taking reviewing this seriously. You should up it to M because the amount of F-bombs. That is true. I will say the humor seems forced. Capitalizing entire sentences is incorrect grammar. Not only that, it's like you're smacking your readers in the face with the text.
Yeah. This was the Critics United. Because they actually did give good advice back then. They probably did, but at the time that they were still around, they actually did give good advice.
Yeah. Oh, I know they did. It's just.
Although
I'm pretty sure they expanded, unfortunately.
Honestly, I thought of them as a necessary evil. Yeah, a lot of good fics got purged, but those fics were purged because they were blatantly ignoring guidelines. Like Noodlehammer probably would have disappeared during that.
Oh yeah, he 1000% would have disappeared, especially with the amount of not even for the sex though. Like For the sheer amount of people he offends per chapter, all of his stories would have been deleted.
Anyway, on with the trash.
Anyway, yep. Inuyasha. That's like my first anime. Damn. Cowboy Bebop and
Critics
Inuyasha.
United is still around.
What is?
I'm trying to figure out
Critics
if
United?
yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, his whole thing about capitalizing every sentence, I think that was in reference to me using all caps
Yeah, that was the
to
caps lock
get
reference.
across the yelling.
Yeah.
It's like you're hitting the reader in the face with the text.
Let's see, Critics United. No, they are. No, I'm not going to say they're active, but they are still around.
Really?
Most recent post was in the stories and wow, they really cleaned all this up. Oh, good. The Just Chat has been revised 7 times, and the last post was back in 2013. I guess they buckled down and started only looking at stories that are crap. Oh, their Q&A thread is still kind of active, though. That's cool. Those guys are actually, pretty okay. They're willing to be civil, so long as you don't bite at them.
I do believe I got into an argument with one of them. I mean, not that anyone here is surprised by that. Who the fuck is Janus?
Janus?
Yeah.
Who?
Janus. Janus Inuyasha.
I was gonna say, I mean,
I should know this.
it's been a long time
Janus
since I
was
watched
an
it.
American exchange student who was made exclusively for the Nintendo DS game Inuyasha Secret of the Divine Jewel. She is the
Alright.
reincarnation of the daughter of the god Datara. When Kagome was absent from school, Janus went to the shrine to visit Kagome, where she was attacked by a yokai who emerged from the Bone Eater's well and was rescued by the mysterious monk Sen. Later, Janus followed his advice to go to the feudal era through the well and looked for Kagome. After passing through, she met Kagome and her friends. Once she touched a shard of the Shikan no Tama, it blended into her body and awakened her priestess powers. She agreed to accompany them on their journey until she was able to remove the jewel shard from her body.
Well, at least I don't feel bad about not knowing who that character is, since it was for a fucking DS game.
Cool. I guess her name would be. No, I guess her name is supposed to be Janice. Like Janice. But localization might have messed it up.
Pronounced Jan Isu.
Well, yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But again, if they were Americanizing a name, it could very well be Janice, and the local team might have just screwed up, or there might be a reason for that. But the reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure that's katakana, not hiragana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's katakana. Katakana is really angular versus hiragana.
Trapped in the modern world, Kagome finds solace in finding pieces of the past. Little did she know the past would find her. Together, perhaps they can overcome the darkness that hangs in the deepest corners of her mind. Koga times Kagome.
I mean, that's common. That's common enough pairing, anyway.
Yeah, it's common enough pairing. I'm kind of confused as to how Koga. Anyway, never mind. Oh, here we go. This is another classic AU where everyone's normal humans.
What's the point of that?
Let's see.
No.
Dreaming of you within the realms of dreams, two children form an unlikely friendship beyond time. Will this friendship be strong enough to survive in the waking world, or will it lead to something more? Kagome times Shishomaru.
Okay.
My favorite pairing is Sango times Moroku.
It was a good
You
pairing.
better be having a laugh with us.
Really bucking the trend there, Calvin.
uh,
Dichotomy. Like yin and yang, they are so different, but also complement each other. See, my problem with looking up Inuyasha fanfiction is that it's almost all drama or romance, and that just completely does not interest me.
How would you say? Well, I mean, come on. That's pretty much all that Inuyasha is. For the most part. Now, there are excellent fights.
Yeah, I suppose American idioms would be weird to other people.
I mean,
they're weird to Americans.
idioms are weird to lots of people. Like, I'm sure if I started hearing British idioms, well, maybe not British, some British idioms, I think that's just weird as shit, yo.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure some Germanic idioms, once translated, would make sense.
I mean, some, but but most of them probably wouldn't because again, it's the translation, so intended meaning can be lost.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, there are some that are pretty easy to figure out,
Like the
shooting fish
Flammenwerfer. It Werfer's
I was-
Flammen.
Oh my god, fuck off with that. I was going to talk about like the idiom. It was as easy as shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That
no,
one's pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, that one's pretty
assuming you have a
self-explanatory.
basic grasp of English.
I mean,
Oh god.
and yeah, yeah.
I dare watch these.
A Ziva-ism, according to Urban Dictionary, is a mistake made when using English figure of speech. Usually used when the mistake is committed by Ziva David, a character in NCIS. However, this word is never actually used in the show, only by
Calvin,
fans.
what the hell are you doing up at 2:27 in the morning?
Hey, mind if I take a bat nap? Dude, that was a Ziva-ism. Okay, I kind of get what he... I kind of understand that. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. You know what? I'm gonna save myself the agony and just disclude romance from from the list so I can actually find a story I'm willing to talk about.
No results found.
I don't know.
I cut out 100, so...
I mean, look on the upside. We've managed to find a new format to do the show in future streams.
Oh no, this was just me being lazy and being like, yeah, I actually should find some other shit for us to look at instead of just Naruto and Sal and Ruby.
Hmm.
Because you gotta keep in mind, I harvested all of that from, looking for my own fan fiction to read, and because I stopped looking for more fan fiction to read, and because I stopped looking for more fan fiction to read, I stopped collecting more fan fiction for us to make fun of. So I got a message back from Burning Dolphin.
Who the hell's Burning Dolphin?
So Burning Dolphin. Remember that Doctor Who story Calvin recommended we looked at, and we were like, "This is just crappy self-insert trash."
No, but I probably tried to forget about it.
You probably did. So Burning Dolphin was one of her only reviewers. In fact, her only reviewer besides me.
Okay.
And he left shitty reviews like, "Good job, keep it up, sis," and "Sis, remember I'm your beta."
Okay.
And when I left the review of "This was I cringed hard, cease," he sent a PM to me, warning me off from criticizing her because that hurts her feelings. Anyway, his original PM reads, "Can you not be rude to Writer Girl 142 on her story? She worked hard. She had wrote more story than you. But if you don't like them, then don't read it. There are better things to do for you than insult people's stories." My response to that was, "And you're betaing her stories? Sweet lord, no wonder why they're fucking shit. You can barely even make a functional sentence at me." Because there was no punctuation in that entire PM.
No, that's a perfectly valid say. Get yourself another beta, Writer Girl, because your current beta doesn't even understand English.
Clearly, she would vastly improve if she found a better beta, someone that can actually use grammar, maybe. If she works so hard on these stories, then why does it read like there was no effort put into it? Crappy self-insert OCs will always be crappy. It's an unoriginal idea that should cease. Of the thousands that I've seen, I've only seen one or two that have been of quality. You should be ashamed, because that as a beta, her writing reflects on you just as much as it reflects on her. FYI, I don't actually have better things to do than mock crap. It's kind of a job.
Also, what kind of idiot? Really, first of all, why? I don't know why this Writer Girl 1-2 whatever can't message you herself. And furthermore, did you raise the point with him that she has put her work on a public fanfiction site where there's a review section so that people can offer criticism for a reason?
Anyway,
Sneaky.
so I sent that PM to him. I was answering Calvin's question. So I sent that PM to him, and he responds back, "I recently just started being her beta, and anyway, she is my sister, and I don't like people being rude to her. If you don't like her stories, then don't read them."
Well, at least his ability to form a sentence took a better beta to be funny. Well, at least his ability to speak in English improved dramatically.
Still no periods or commas or anything.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, boy, Calvin, you are just endearing yourself to me more every fucking stream.
I'm sorry, what was that, Max?
I don't know many other people who know about sci-fi show called Primeval.
Never heard of it.
No.
Exactly. It premiered back in 2007. So one of those pseudo time travel things, but actually it's a different world and dimension entirely kind of story. It evolved into an interesting thing.
So, and you said, why didn't she comment back to me personally herself?
Hey, why doesn't she respond herself?
She does. In her newest chapter she made and released on that story, she confronts me in her author's notes.
In the author notes?
And said that if I didn't like the story, I shouldn't have read it, and that she's writing it for her own enjoyment and the enjoyment of others, and that she's not here to entertain everyone, only people that like the story.
Well,
Yeah,
first
well,
off,
don't forget, no, Atin, he's not giving the full story. I was the one who led him to that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She said, I would like to get constructive criticism rather than someone telling me to stop writing the story.
Yeah, that too. And I responded to that with a review saying, sure, I'll give you constructive criticism if you want in a PM. But just an FYI for this chapter, it does not fall under fanfiction guidelines of proper chapter and can be reported.
oh, why didn't it?
Because it was an author's note with a character bio.
Oh, But, and even leaving all that aside, first of all, did she respond to you by name or just respond to you?
Oh, Sneaky Devil. Yeah, no,
Oh,
she mentioned me
But,
specifically.
I mean, first off, this is kind of important. We read the first chapter of her story.
Yeah, didn't follow her favorite either, and she would know if I did. So, yeah, I don't quite know why she thought I would read chapter 4.
But here's my thing. Well, I mean, clearly you did read it, but
well, that's
regardless
because Max
of that,
looked at it.
I know. But here's the
I was
thing.
curious.
We can't know if we're gonna like your story until we at least read the first chapter.
Yeah. And I read the first chapter, and I hated it, and I asked you to please stop. If you see someone shoveling shit and just flinging it onto your yard, and you're like, can you not fling shit onto my yard?
Yeah. I do have to wonder though. You don't know much about Doctor Who, so why were you reading a Doctor Who
Calvin.
fic?
Calvin suggested it in the.
You let Calvin bully you into that?
No, he was like, "Hey, look at this," and we're like,
he
"Yeah,
suggested
fuck it, sure."
We took his suggestion,
Yeah.
and we looked at it, and we're like, "Well, this is just sad."
But
Didn't
Atin,
even need to
are you
know Doctor
familiar
Who for this story.
with Doctor Who?
I am.
Okay. Just want to make sure at least one of you is familiar enough to actually criticize it as far as the fandom goes.
Yeah, no, we didn't even get to that point where Doctor Who was introduced.
Chapter 2, apparently, by the way.
Like the fandom stuff was irrelevant because it was just a poorly written self-insert.
For chapter 1, at least. Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, good. Sneaky's being his usual
Someone on
self.
the internet doesn't like your sister's stories.
Sneaky, why do you have to be such an aggressive prick? Why do you go out of your way to do this? Like, it's
Sneaky.
not even natural. You go out of your way sometimes.
Sneaky, before you start on that, don't forget to include the point that it's a public website.
Oh, I will.
Where she posted her story. Like, you have every right to ask her to stop writing a terrible story.
I do, actually. See, I didn't. There was no demand. Now, fair enough. You could interpret cease as a demand, but I did just say cease. I did not say you must stop this story immediately. It's an offense to everyone's eyes. I said cease.
You just like cease.
It wasn't even an exclamation mark. I was just cease. Period.
Well, cease also is taken to be more firm stop, so...
Yeah,
well, yes,
connotation in the English
adamantly
language.
want this person to stop writing that. However,
but you know, it wasn't like I went on a 10-page rant about how their story offends literally the universe by merely existing.
Yeah.
Calvin, I feel like you're complaining for a completely different reason than this guy is.
I mean, yeah. The tragedy. The horror.
Oh my god, would you
out loud.
stop? Now you're just hamming it up.
Of course I am. Damn it.
That at least spelled tragedy right.
I'm trying, Max. My brain isn't working with me today. Not
Do
the
it.
pterodactyl. Grammarly,
Not the
you are
trendy,
not assisting me.
Not the too edgy.
There we go.
That's still not.
Don't want to hear it.
You want me to just start writing this for you?
I don't want to hear it.
I'm sorry, Calvin. Asking Sneaky to not be a bastard, you will quickly discover that is not possible.
So when are we gonna
All
get
right,
back to the
I
stories?
fucking spelt it right this time. Fuck off, everyone. If you don't like people being rude to her, then maybe you, as the brother, should have told her to not post generic, cliched garbo onto a public forum for everyone to see and comment on. Because it is on such a forum, I will comment on it. And there is jack fucking shit you can do to stop me. You also can't tell me to not read her stories just as much as I can't make her stop writing them. P.S.
Calvin might be
Get
shit talking you in
Ben.
the stream.
What's this about the stream, Max?
Calvin might
viewing?
be shit talking Sneaky.
At
in the
least my
chat.
girlfriend loves my writing. Sneaky, don't be a bastard. So where are we doing for an encore? I say we give Burning Dolphin the link for the stream and let him see how Sneaky tries to write a message.
Oh.
Hey now, Calvin. At least I make sure to double check my message is legible before I send it.
Yeah, to be fair,
The
this guy
process
is
of writing
legible.
it is completely unacceptable to be used against me. Now, if I send that message out, then feel free to criticize my writing on it. But I ensured it did not look like someone was having a minor aneurysm while typing. And that's the key part.
Yeah. To be fair, his writing is legible. I just don't like that I've got to read it in one breath.
That too.
Like, heck, just a comma would be a godsend.
I wonder if he's gonna respond to this. I hope he responds to this.
Honestly, it's the most entertaining. It's one of the most entertaining things that happens to us when people respond to you.
Like I have gotten everyone. Thanks, Calvin. I am glad I can entertain a 2:45 a.m. you. I have gotten responses ranging from page-long rants as to why I'm wrong, to philosophical discussions, to people agreeing with me, to people asking to be my co-high. I have received the full spectrum.
We wish we were kidding about it too.
Sneaky, I think at this point all you need is to get a romance flag, and you'll be done. You'll have hit the bingo card.
Has it got the romance flag yet?
I have not gotten the romance flag yet, no. That is the only part of the spectrum I have yet to touch. Imagine how it could contain in 12 a.m. Well, I would certainly love to start it earlier, but Max and Atin here seem to have an inability to be active earlier than 7 o'clock.
Excuse me, I can be active earlier than 7 o'clock, but there's not really a point if Max isn't here.
That is true. Max, you're holding us all back. You're disappointing Calvin.
Kill your family. It's the only solution.
We've talked about this. I am not doing that. Quit suggesting it.
No, I will continue
Fine.
suggesting
Put
it.
them in cryostasis. Does that make you feel better?
Do you have any idea how much it costs to make a budget ghetto version of that?
I
mean, here's the thing though. Your budget is all the money you'll save from
okay,
taking
so
all your
basically,
family's money.
Pack them in a box, right? Ship it to Antarctica. Boom, free cryostasis.
No,
Max,
Sneaky,
you
I'm
have
pretty
failed
sure that's
this
just
stream.
free frostbite.
Calvin, I beg of you, don't encourage them, please. Oh, please don't make my life harder. Just to give these two a joke.
I took romance out, and this is the shit I get? Slippery suds. Just the scent of her. Curious, even. Sasomaru times Kagome.
I'm sorry. You tell me that doesn't fall under the romance category.
It's a humor drama story.
That
which I am
that's
calling
even worse.
bullshit on.
Uh,
Okay, let's find something actually good. Words 404, chapter not found. Okay, let's see. We gotta narrow our filters down to actually words. So greater than 5K. So we actually can have something to mock.
mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna go look at the reviews for this slippery suds thing.
Oh god. Mastering chemistry. What? Okay, so it's an AU where everyone's human and Naraku is a chemistry professor or something.
What's the fucking point?
And apparently he goes like full psycho on his newest assistant, and he gets obsessed with harassing them. What possible question does this fulfill?
No, let's just we don't.
Now, see, now I'm understanding why I've limited myself to certain sections on fanfiction.net, because that's the only place good fanfiction can apparently be found.
What a shame.
Back in time. Kagome is sent back in time by Naraku's spell gone wrong. She wanders the forest, unaware, getting into trouble until she runs into a young Shishomaru. Shishomaru! Who is completely different from the man we all know. He takes her in for reasons unknown to himself, falling for her, a human, just like his father. Chapters 1 through 5 revised. I mean, it's not absolute garbage, so I guess we can look at it.
And then Marty McFly turns up in his DeLorean. You know what? It can't make things any worse.
I mean,
You know
that
what? You
would
know
make
what,
things
Calvin,
better.
Go out and write Back to the Future crossed over with Inuyasha.
That the DeLorean showing up would make things better. Clearly, you need to make a Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars, Back to the Future parody crossover.
Oh, Lord.
Uh, Before we start on this one, eternity. Kagome stopped aging at 20 and soon found herself all alone. She wandered back through the well to find Inuyasha. Seeing everyone gone, she stays to make a home for herself and becomes the Lady of the East. As the years pass, her heart sinks further into bitter turmoil. Will she ever find happiness again? This story is told in about 100-word snippets. Chapters 110 words, 12,000.
No. Nope. Nope. I'm using my veto for the night. Nope. Max, back me up here.
I don't know, Atin.
Do you
See,
really want to read this?
well, see, here's the thing. These stories don't pain me near as much as they pain you guys. See, I have pretty good tolerance for a lot of things, including stupidity. I think it's one reason I probably lasted as one of the longer-term friends Sneaky said.
This is true fact.
But,
Anyway, this is chapter 1.
this is the back in time story.
Yes.
You gonna link it
Yes, I
for
am.
us?
Alright, let me link it on out to everyone.
You know what? You really
Thing.
don't want to put up with this, do you?
No, this is not the 100-word snippet story.
My soul hurts, alright? I thought it was dead, but this is reminding me that it's alive and screaming in agony.
I see.
Chapters 1 to 5 revised. First published back in January of 2016, has been updated as of April 26th. 32 chapters, about 50k words, a little bit over.
So about
in
like
total.
what? 1.2, 1.4k
Yeah,
words per
about-
chapter?
Yeah, about that.
Excuse me.
So on the bright side, it won't take long to get through the first chapter.
Indeed. Inuyasha, sit, 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 sit. Don't follow me. I'll be back as soon as I can. The snarl I held on my face disappeared with a yelp as I slammed into the ground, my body indenting deeper and deeper into the moist soil. I mumbled and cursed as I spat out the dirt wedged between my fangs. My body was sore and stiff from all the sit commands as I yelled into the forest from the ground. Hey, I didn't say you could go home. I sulked as I sat up and brushed my robes off. Her scent had already faded, proving she really did leave. Stupid Kagome, going home whenever she feels like. Yeah, you show 'em. I muttered and moaned over my new bruises, ignoring the growing unease in my stomach. Oh, stop complaining, Inuyasha. She will come back. She always does. Besides, we do need more supplies and some rest would be nice. Perhaps you should accompany her since we aren't like you. Our stamina isn't as high, and neither is our anxious energy. Moroku sat cross-legged against a tree, his hands wrapped delicately around a can of pop, as Kagome described it. You walking around and complaining isn't helping us to relax. Yeah, Inuyasha, humans aren't strong like us demons, and you, and you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't...
like there's 4 Like, see, I read that as ellipses and then period because that's what it is. But
Yeah.
and you, they need a break. I slapped my fist.
Is it over Shippo's head as I glared at Moroku?
Yeah, I know.
hated
I'm
that
just
he was right.
imagining the motion of slapping someone with your fist.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I assume he means that, I understand the motion they're describing, but that's not how you go about describing that. You slam the fist down, you thump them on the head with the fist, that's just, no, it's not how you describe that in English. A slap is a very specific word.
Keep reading. I'm answering Calvin's question.
Okay. I hated that he was right. Hated it. I know that. I'm not an idiot, and I will not go with her. I told her not to go. I told her so I won't chase her home like some puppy. She can go through the well alone. I crossed my arms and settled myself in the crook of a tree, my attention focused on the leaves twitching in the small breeze. He could have fooled me, he's so stubborn, I heard Moroku whisper as Sango tried to stifle a giggle. My face darkened as I fell from the tree, shouting the whole way down. What was that, monk? Say that to my face. I landed in front of him, glaring down at him as he sipped his drink. Oh, Inuyasha, calm down. We're all on the same team here. Sango glared at me as she tickled Kira's nose with the glass braid. Pfeh. I crossed my arms, sticking my nose in the air. A strong odor stole my attention, my earlier anger forgotten as I scented the thickening air. Inuyasha. Yeah, I know. I smirked. Naruka? Is that Max? Pronunciation check.
Naraku.
Naraku, right. It's been so long. Sango jumped to her feet. I forget how to say it, positioned dangerously in her strong hands. Kira, who at one point was a cute kitten, evolved into a ball of fire to a large demon, her fangs dripping with saliva. She screamed her warning into the sky, the fire on her legs flaring, enhancing her menacing appearance. Naraku? Why would he suddenly show himself and so close to the village? I don't know, but we have to hurry. Those wolves and Sesshomaru won't be far behind when they catch a drift of his scent. I flipped Shippo onto my shoulder as I turned to leave. Wait, what about Kagome? We can't just leave her. She could be back any moment, and we need her. I eyed Moroku and scoffed. Yes, we can. She chose to go home. Besides, she's probably spending time with her family. She won't be back for days. I know it. And besides, the well's the opposite direction of Naraku. She's out of the way, so we move on without her. I focused on Moroku for a second longer, expecting a verbal retaliation. He just smiled lightly. You're right, she's safer there, isn't she? Heh. Fich. I turned around and started running, my friends following close behind. Yeah, Moroku, you're right. She is safer in her own world. I don't want to see my friend get hurt. Alright, take back over.
Alright. We ran through the trees, our eyes peeled for signs of danger, specifically in the form of a wind demoness. The smell of rancid miasma grew steadily stronger, and the trees slowly started to look more haggard and dead. We're getting closer. Inuyasha. How else would you read that? Inuyasha.
No, I'm just...
Sango fell from the sky on Kiara, her
Okay,
war
this
apparel.
is just a point I want to raise. Saying a rancid miasma is completely redundant. Because a miasma is defined as a highly unpleasant or unhealthy smell or vapor. And rancid, like...
Inuyasha!
Oh, for crying out loud.
I don't think you can use rancid for miasma.
Miasma is rancid by the definition of miasma.
Well, no, It depends on which definition of miasma.
Mm.
There's the physical smell or vapor, and then there's the feeling of a heavy atmosphere.
Mm.
Yeah, but okay, here's the thing. Rancid. Smelling or tasting unpleasant as a result of being old and stale. So, a rancid smell means it smells bad.
Yeah, in regards to fat, in regards to fat and oil. Rancid is specifically used to talk about spoiled food containing fat or oils. So they're already misusing rancid to begin with.
Yeah.
So not only are they
And-
misusing rancid, they're misusing rancid.
You have 2
You're-
strikes against you now just for rancid
For
alone.
the same word. Even if it
you know
meant what
what?
you think
That's
it meant,
impressive.
it still isn't used that way.
I do have to say, that's actually kind of impressive, though. Fucking it up that badly.
Oh.
Glad we finally got a story update for FE Heroes, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
FE Heroes?
Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game.
Yeah. She pointed ahead. I nodded, but before I could respond, the earth shook with a thunderous clap. Trees fell, relieved to end their suffering as a miasma covered the ground in thick ropes, erupting from a fold in the heavens. I'm sorry, I am getting a completely inappropriate mental image from the way he described it.
What is wrong with you?
Oh,
Oh, I have seen far too many anime. Come on, you can't tell me that wouldn't be both horrifying and hilarious.
I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, but
Calvin gets it.
God damn it, Calvin.
Thick purple ropes coming out of a skygina.
please stop talking. There went Atin. See Atin agreeing with me.
We've lost that.
I need to just scream.
Uh,
Do you feel better?
No. No, I don't. How about we make this the last one?
I suppose we should.
Yeah, if you
end it
can
at
keep
the
this
other
going
time.
for half an hour.
Oh, Jesus God.
The world darkened, leaving nothing but death and the evil aura. A low laugh echoed out from the sky. Inuyasha, welcome, it's been a while. And oh, what is this? No Kagome wrapped around your arm? Well, that only puts a slight hitch in my plans. Naraku, what are you planning with Kagome? That's not how you're supposed to say that. The way you said that makes it sound like Kagome is somehow backstabbing them.
Yeah. And in addition to that, why is that his first question when Kagome isn't even there? Like, shouldn't your first response be, hey, rather than questioning the evil villain about their obviously evil villainous plot, why don't I just try to kill it?
You know, Calvin, sometimes I can't tell if you're being serious or sarcastic.
Limitations of a chat medium.
Well, I mean, less that and more of a maybe this is another situation where he doesn't understand the usage of the word, because
Yeah, we had an interesting discussion about the use of the English language over in the salt mines today.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's infinitely more
And,
interesting than this. So go on.
Well. All right. They're trying to. One of them was. I'm not even gonna bother explaining this, but it all culminated into me explaining to them that you should feel bad for anyone who's trying to pick up English as a second language.
Oh yeah, no, English
yeah.
is an
Fitting for
absurdly
their
difficult
poor
language to
souls.
pick up. Yeah.
English is horrible.
Welcome to the English language, where the word buffalo can be written 7 times and called a sentence.
I hate that you're right. That's what I hate the most about it.
It's like, fucking why?
How is this a sentence? You think English is awesome? You strange man.
No, to be fair, English is pretty awesome. It just has an absurd level of rules that make you sit back sometimes and go,
Why?
why?
And then, my personal favorite is it makes an absurd list of rules, and then it says, except for this,
Yeah, alright, so here's a list
this.
of 90 rules. There's going to be various amounts of exceptions from 1 to 10 for each of these rules. None of them overlap sometimes, except for this exception list. You know, English is kind of like water. It works sort of like how every other liquid works, but when you actually get down to it, you just look at it and go, why? Why do you exist? Why do you do this?
That's not right. That's not normal.
Well, this is infuriating.
Don't
The
we have
English
4
language, I agree.
grammatical cases, etc.?
Well, the English language and the current rules that are being used for the new events, for the new story in Heroes.
Uh-huh.
Like, my characters are high enough level, but there's a system in place currently where I am unable to kill one hero on the field because it's meant to be a reinforcement survival mission.
Uh-huh.
But they also can't damage any of my characters.
Oh, yeah, no. That's because you're on the lower difficulties. Wait till you're doing it on Lunatic, Max. My favorite part is that in order to get the free orbs that it offers, you have to make it through the missions on Lunatic with all 4 of your heroes surviving.
Good thing I don't believe in doing lunatic runs then. They don't exist as far as I'm concerned.
Then you're missing out on free money. Anyway,
They're a myth.
let's just finish this up. Let's just finish this up and get on with our lives. What? All I see is I can't allow you to do that. There is no Dave afterwards, so therefore it is wrong.
Alright.
Wait, what?
I am singularly the most powerful demon in the lands, and I would like to play a little game. But don't worry, it takes no effort on your part. I need but one player, and I've already decided who that is. I will be back for you, or someone will. Until then, Inuyasha.
Oh, so that's what the fucking stupid rules are.
What?
Oh?
The 2 things he's mentioning, genitive and dative.
Uh-huh.
Genitive is a thing. Genitive refers to denoting a case of nouns and pronouns indicating possession or close association. Dative, denoting a case of nouns and pronouns and words in grammatical agreement with them, indicating an indirect object or recipient. That's what the... Fuck you, English. Have the balls
So
to come up
what?
with your own words for your rules.
Possessive and
Possessive
indicative?
indirect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
possessive and
think so.
indirect. Why the fuck does there need to be some kind of complicated and sounding?
So, I'm fairly certain, like, when you're using the word they in reference to a single person, that would be dative, because you're indirectly referring to them.
Yeah.
That's actually what ended up spawning the English stuff.
Or
Insult
why don't you go
puns.
sit over there when, you know, you're referring to a stool or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's meant to be used. Oh, boy.
See, that sounds way more complicated than it actually is. If that's how you're learning English, god damn, I feel bad for the rest of the world.
Like, shit, man, I'm a native English speaker. We didn't learn that. We just learned the rules themselves.
All I learned was put an apostrophe after something and add an S to it. Unless there's already an S, then it's just an apostrophe if you want to indicate someone owns something.
I mean,
Or
Unless you're
alternatively,
using, or
if
unless
you're
you're
adding
using
the
the
word
word
is to something. Yes.
I was just saying, I just slept through all my English classes because they were so far beneath me. Because I'd already read books that were so advanced relative to my
Oh,
classmates. There was
Yeah.
nothing for me to learn.
Yeah, that's actually how I learned more English, is I just read English books because I could already speak and read English.
yeah, no, like at first I was like, yeah, I felt honored when high school English teachers like, honestly, you write better than majority of college students. And then I
Ha
realized how horrible it is that a high school student is better than majority of college students.
Oh yeah.
It's like, guys know why.
Xenon's
But
here.
yeah.
Oh,
It's one of those things
just in
like
time for the end of the stream.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I just, I don't understand. I think New Jersey's method of teaching how to read and write works best.
I learned English watching Stargate and reading English. The fact that you were able to speak it and write it as well as you have just from those is impressive, Gal.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I am
say,
honestly impressed that you learned to read and write from English fanfics, because the level of English fanfics I've seen out there, I I could shit on the keyboard and produce better grammar and spelling than some of them.
literally in some cases. Some of them look like they were literally
And
written
then
by
just
a monkey
watching
throwing poop at a
and of
keyboard.
course, watching a bunch of Stargate, people said you can't learn anything from that show.
You learn a lot
They
of
were
shit from
wrong.
Stargate.
You
English
do.
is not exactly one of those things typically.
I know. But
But I mean, hey, Stargate, that's an awesome series. Kind
it
of
is.
sad what they did to it, but I like the original.
We don't talk about that, Sneaky. Nothing happened. There's only ever been one set of Stargate. I don't know
Indeed.
what you're talking about.
You guys can go fuck off. Atlantis was fun.
No, sorry. The first couple seasons of Atlantis were mildly enjoyable.
How much a complete collection of Stargate goes for.
200 something bucks, I think. I tried to buy my dad one because he stupidly lent it out to an acquaintance of mine, and the acquaintance never gave it back.
You should kill that acquaintance.
Complete series plus the Arc of
Thank you,
Truth
Calvin.
plus Continuum
Thank you.
for 94 bucks.
Really? So it's gone down.
Oh, that is an Amazon deal. They're all obviously they're on DVD because,
Well,
well,
obviously, yeah.
Atlantis the complete series is 41 bucks. Oh, that's right. That's right. Stargate Universe was a thing. That wasn't
Yep.
very good.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Like, they had a solid start. Like the pilot was actually pretty solid, and then it fell apart.
Yeah.
It face planted
Yeah,
hard.
just kind of died in a fire.
It ate that pavement. Spontaneously combusted as a result, apparently.
Let's see. Anyway, I roared into the sky as the miasma started to dissipate. My Tessaiga transformed into a massive fanged blade as I whipped it across the horizon. 4 powerful energy waves shot up into the air, disappearing into nothing as Naraku's laugh slowly faded into the murky sky. I screamed up at the dusky clouds, my anger finding no other escape. Sango grabbed my arm, her voice fairly soft, soothing. Why is there a semicolon there? Inuyasha? My sides heaved as I took deep breaths. I surveyed the land, how the grasses and trees were tormented and brown with death. I don't like the sounds of this. Who knows what he's planning? And to bring up Lady Kagome. A swift gust of wind brought forth fresh air to the otherwise stale valley. It was the sweet scent in the air that prickled my skin. We need to get back to the well now. I can't let you do that, Dave.
I can't allow you to do that. Why? Why can that not be allowed?
Of course, Sam Carter times Daniel Jackson. I grunted as I struggled to pull myself and my bag out of the well. Come on, little more. With one final push, both my bag and I flipped over the ledge, crushing the grass with our combined weight. I mean, it's not that difficult to crush grass. You literally have to be heavier than grass to crush grass.
Yeah, but does the grass know that?
Yes.
Oh, well, they have no excuse then.
I gave a quick sigh of relief. I really should get a ladder for this thing. Of course, Inuyasha is usually here to get me by now. You know, I do realize that Kagome kind of does treat Inuyasha like absolute shit.
Oh no, she is an absolute asshole.
Yeah, she's the bitch to him.
Yeah, like,
Now, to
you
be
know...
fair,
No,
Inuyasha's
fair enough.
most of the
He's
time.
a caustic asshole. This is true. But, like, she abuses him almost constantly and then expects him to just do everything for her.
Yeah, no. The issue that comes into play here is Inuyasha comes across as acerbic, but he's also written to be, fairly sympathetic to people. He just doesn't like showing it.
Well, you say
And
that's the thing.
Kagome is clearly written to be his love interest, and you should feel bad for her because she's stuck in the situation. Maybe I'd feel bad for her if she wasn't being a constant bitch to this guy for literally the smallest
Yeah, like, I don't
of
like what you said, so I'm
offenses.
gonna send you crashing into the ground with a spiritual command you cannot not obey.
Now, to be fair, part of it is
And, like, it's never just
she
once,
initi-
though, either. Like, from what I remember, she, like, it's never just sit. It's always, as they did in the start, sit, 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 sit. Like, she
Oh
never
yeah,
just
no.
does it once. It's like several times in succession.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. However, bear in mind, initially there's a lot of resistance because she wants to be sure that her feelings are actually hers and not, the reincarnated shrine maids.
Alright, well, that doesn't give you an excuse to be an absolute, complete, utter asshole to someone who's basically saving you.
I was about to say, however,
Yeah.
like, to his credit, Inuyasha, after, like, the first, I don't know, 30 episodes or so,
Yeah.
the man tries, with varying degrees of success and effort, but he tries. And
Yeah.
there are times when he's really trying.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're done with this thing.
Oh, really? Inuyasha's by Ranma, the author of Ranma? Never
Oh.
knew that.
I am
That
going
does
nowhere
explain
near
a lot.
you.
Yeah, she is basically a cane. I hated a
get away
cane
from
as
me.
well.
Ike, leave me alone.
What?
Jackass.
What?
The game is pushing me into a corner
Good.
on the story, and Ike keeps following my Pegasus flyer now, and she can't do anything to him because he's got the ward. Oh god, I hate when shit like this happens in games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I did not know that. I typically do not pay attention to the authors of fanfictions. It just... Sorry, not fanfiction, sorry. Of actual mangas and whatnot. I get them all confused. I can't remember any of them. It's only Max constantly saying things like Kishimoto and... Who the fuck does the Dark Souls again?
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki. Those are
Not
those are
anime
about like
Miyazaki,
the
game
two.
Miyazaki.
Those are like the two I can remember. Oh wow, that's that sounds a lot like the guy only knows how to write characters one certain way.
Mm.
I'm not even Kyokai no Rini. Well, let's see what that is. Rinne, known as Kyokai no Rinne in Japan, is a Japanese manga series. Let's see if we can get the plot.
I can totally see the character designs in these characters.
Yep. Oh boy, it's basically a priest, Ranma, and Kane. A high school girl who is able to see ghosts after she is spirited away for a week when she was a child. Though she does not remember the details of the experience once in high school, she wishes to be rid of this perception, which is an annoyance to her. She meets a Shinigami of sorts named Rene Rikoto, a classmate of hers who is absent for the first month or so of school. His job is to guide spirits whose regrets bind them to Earth into the wheel of reincarnation. Let's see, okay, let's see, he's a Shinigami. Does he do some sort of, ba, 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 ba. I think this author has father problems. Because this guy's in this new manga, this guy's the main character's father is a gambler who wastes a bunch of money and gets massive debt, and so he's basically spends no money on anything besides putting it towards the debt. Sakura is my hair spiel ghost. She is the only human to initially see Rin. Calm girl does not hesitate to scold Rin, of course. And she tends to get herself into the mood of things. Okay, yeah. Oh, well. It sounds like she has father issues. So, yeah. One trick pony, I guess you could say. Sure, they can write different, you know. Sure you can write different not genres either. It'd be like different eras. Would that be the best description? Different eras? But, you know, if all your fucking main characters pretty much act the same, with similar issues, you know, unreliable father figures and whatnot, it's not exactly
you're a bad writer.
You know, telling me you can write a good story. I mean, yeah, sure, Ranma went on for fucking ever, but it's not exactly an indication of a good story. That's just an indication of a popular one. Just by going to any fanfiction section, you see a clear difference between a good story and a popular one.
I was gonna say, you know, let me start something here.
For that fucking trash.
One Piece has been going for.
Anyway, sorry to all you viewers that are just showing up now. This is the end of the stream. We have out fanfictioned ourselves today, and there was nothing quite enjoyable to talk about or bring up.
There's nothing that made us violently upset enough to write about
We'll be continuing our normal schedule of Naruto, and Sao, and Ruby, and whatever else I can fucking dredge up. Maybe some more Pokemon, because those weren't
some Star Wars in there.
1000% trash. Just really close to it. In our next stream, which will occur on Tuesday, Fanfiction Tuesday, at the same time as always, 7 o'clock ish. So catch you all later.